Welcome back to 2D Video Game Design. Today we are going to start making changes based on which direction our character is facing. So right now if I play my game, I can move left and right, I can move up and down, and as we talked about last week, I can now fire bullets. However, if I move to the left, my bullets still only go in one direction. So this is not ideal for a game. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments to that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to be able to access the direction that my character is facing. And really what I want to do is make it so when I press to the right, there's a place that it's saved that the last direction that I pushed was the right direction, or left or up or down. So what I want to do is have the console window open. To open the console window, you click on Window, and then it's under General, and then here's the console. You also see there's the Control-Shift-C, and there is my console. I'm going to go ahead and clear this right now. It's got some stuff that I was messing with earlier here. I'm going to dock that, and then what I can see here is any messages that my game's given me. So I'm going to go back into my scripts, into my player controller script. And then I want to create a space right here where I want it to log to the console what direction I'm facing right now. So record the direction the player is facing. So the first thing that I want to do is just see if I'm facing right or left. We'll start off simple. So if the last key that I pressed was the right arrow, then I must be facing right. If input dot get key down is key code dot right arrow. Now, of course, if you're using the WASD, then we would do key code D to do that. But if the last key that I pressed was the right arrow, then I want to debug.log the word right. Now, what if I push left? So I can say else if input dot get key down key code left arrow, then we'll do the same thing, debug.log left. Okay, so let's go ahead, Control S to save, and let's run the game. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and click on console so I can see what's going on in the console. And if I press right, we see that it registered that I'm facing right. If I press left, okay, now we're seeing that I'm facing left. Of course, I'm not actually facing left because I haven't programmed in how to make my character face left. We'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, so now this is nice because it lets me know that the computer sees what I'm doing, but what we want to do is save that somewhere. So I'm going to go back up to my variables, and I'm going to say that I have the direction variable, and I'm going to call this public string direction. And we'll start off with it being initialized to right. Okay, so now coming down here, if we're facing to the right, then I'm going to say direction equals right. And then if we're facing to the left, direction equals left. Okay, now I'm going to make a slight change here. I'm going to put that afterwards. So it's going to set that. And then instead of saying to say the word right, I'm going to say, tell me what the direction is. And again, this is a debugging thing just to let me know that that variable is actually changing. So let's go ahead. I already saved it. Let's go into Unity. Let's run the game for a test. Okay, so right now there's nothing in there. I'm going to push to the right, and it does say right, and I notice that it's lowercase now, and the original one that I did was uppercase, so that means it is reading the variable and not just saying the word that I told it to. Let's try left. Okay, right, left, right, left, left. Okay, so now it's picking that up. Okay, so hopefully you can see too how I would add in some more code in order to make up and down work as well. But for right now, what I really want to do is make the bullet travel in a different direction. So what I'm going to do is let's make the bullet go in a different direction based on the direction that I'm facing. Okay, so here's my bullet control. Now, I have in here, now right here in this update, transform translate vector to right times time dot delta time times speed. So in this case, the bullet only travels to the right. So what I want to do is check to see what direction the player is facing. Now this is weird because the bullet controller and the player controller are both on different game objects. So what I have to do is give myself the ability to check the variables on another game object. So what I'm going to do here is go public game object, and that game object, we'll just call it hero. Control S to save, and then I'm going to go back into Unity and wait for that to load. I'm going to go into my bullet prefab, and then on my bullet prefab, I'm looking at my script. Should be called bullet controller. There it is. And right here in bullet controller, it's asking for the hero. And right now there is no hero, but all I have to do is take my hero game object and drag it in right there. Now, Unity is not allowing me to drag this into the inspector here. And the reason for that is because the bullet is a prefab. It doesn't actually exist yet. So you'll see if I drag this in here, okay, now that bullet is real, and I can drag this in right there. Now that works. Now, unfortunately, the problem with this is I can only make this bullet see the hero after it's been created, and I can't go into the inspector in the middle of the game and do that. So what I need is a way of the bullet finding the hero after it's been instantiated. So let's go ahead and go into the code and do it through code. So I've got this public game object hero, and then right here at the beginning of my code, I want to say as soon as this object is instantiated, go find the hero. So here in our start method, we're going to tell our script to go find the hero game object. So we're just going to say, let's leave a comment first. Find the hero game object. hero is equal to game object dot find hero. So that's going to allow us to find this game object as soon as the bullet is instantiated. So now that I have that, what I want to do is go into the hero and get the player controller. And in the player controller script, I want to grab that direction variable. So here's how I'm going to do that. The direction variable is, it's a string. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a private string called player direction. So down here in the update, before the bullet starts moving, I'm going to say player direction is equal to hero. So remember, hero is the hero's game object. Within the hero's game object, there's a component called the player controller. That's the script that I made. So I'm going to say hero dot get the component, and then this one's a little odd. I'm going to use these pointy brackets here. The object that I'm looking for is the player controller. Put parentheses at the end of it, and then within the player controller has a field called direction, so dot direction. Okay, so now that is going to be a string that is at this moment either left or right. So now what I want to do is here, instead of it always going to the right, I want it to go in the same direction as the player is facing. So let's go ahead and have a private vector2, and I'm going to call that bullet direction. So now right here, instead of saying vector2.right, I'm going to say go in the bullet direction. Before we execute this, we should tell it which direction it's going. Actually, we should initialize this so that way if we haven't moved at all, it should have a default. So right now the default is that it's going to the right. So if player direction is equal to, remember double equals for comparison, right, then bullet direction is equal to one equal for assignment, vector2 dot right. Else, if player direction equal left, then bullet direction is equal to one equal for assignment, vector 3 dot left. Okay, I'm going to push Control S to save that. And now I should have bullets that fire in either direction. So let's go ahead and get back into Unity. Okay, so I'm moving right, I'm moving left. So the last direction that I pushed was right, and I'm going to fire, and they are firing to the right as expected. Now if I go to the left, and my, oh no, here they come! Okay, so actually my bullets are firing to the left now, but my issue is they are moving as I change direction. Okay, so let's fix that. So let's get back into our bullet controller script. And really the issue is the bullet was changing direction after it had been instantiated. So what I want to do is, this update is giving me lots of chances to change the direction of the bullet, and maybe that's something that you want. I don't. So what I'm going to do is just take that right there, and I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to paste it into the start. And what that'll do is it will make it so the direction can only update once. So Control S to save that. Let's go back and test it out now. Okay, so shoot, 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 and when I turn, it doesn't change direction, and I'm gonna shoot to the left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh no! Okay, so the bullets are traveling to the left when I shoot them to the left. However, they are still starting to the right, so that means that I need to change my start position. So, the area that I instantiate the bullets was in the player controller, so let's go ahead and go into our player controller script. Now, I've got my bullet offset right here. And what I want to do is, let's go to where we're instantiating. Okay, so instantiate bullet position, and then the quaternion identity. So what I want to do is, let's go ahead and make it so right here I have bullet position. Let's make it so that the bullet position can go in different directions. So oops. Really what I want to do is, if we're facing right, I want to add the bullet offset, and if I'm facing left, I want to subtract the bullet offset. So we're just going to say if direction equal right, then do this. And then we can say else if direction equal left, then I'm going to just copy that whole line right there, paste it in, and I'm just going to change this to a subtract. Control S to save. And now let's go ahead and test it. Okay, so I'm firing to the right. Bullets are moving to the right just as planned, and now I'm gonna push left, and now bullets are firing to the left without killing me. There we go.